Hey everybody, welcome back to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. These are my green pets, and these are the ones that I've left indoors to grow until the weather outside gets a little bit more stable. I took a lot of plants out earlier in the month, and I kind of regret it because the temperatures have been swinging up and down and left and right, and we've had a couple of really cool spells that I probably should have brought the plants in, but I didn't. So we're going to see the results of that in a minute. But inside in the green room here, everything, of course, conditions are warmer than they were in the winter, but they are very stable. Obviously, regular light, regular humidity, regular temperatures. And what I've got left in here are my Cattleya Rex seedlings, and they are all completing new growths, which I'm excited about because it's quite early in the year to be completing growths, but very happy about that. And then I've got one blooming fowl that has been in bloom since February or so. We're going to leave him in here. And then all my slipper orchids are also in here. And one of them is in bloom. That's my Paph Michael Koopowitz. And you've seen it for the past couple weeks, just in some short videos featuring it. And we will take it outside in a minute and get a good look at it in the light, the natural light. But isn't it spectacular? Isn't it great? I love this orchid so much that I actually have two. This is actually a Michael Koopowitz here as well, and it bloomed for us a couple years ago. The blooms were more yellow and pink, and this one, the color's a little bit darker than the other one. But I'm actually thinking about saving the pollen from this one, and when the second one blooms, maybe cross-pollinating them and see if I can get a whole little seed pod full of Michael Koopowitz seedlings. But we'll see. But let's go ahead and go outside and see what things look like out there. Okay, out here in the natural daylight, you can see the true colors of the flowers, which is almost like just a golden color, and then it kind of transforms into this reddish, light purple color that the petals have, and it's just so nice. And one thing about this plant that I just find fascinating, obviously, is that the petals are so long, and I've done some research just reading around, looking, trying to figure out, what function do these long petals, what do they have in nature? Why do these petals exist like this? And what I found was that these orchids actually grow on the sides of cliffs and open rock faces. So instead of growing upright like we have it in the pot, it actually kind of grows out, where its roots are stuck to a wall of rock, and then the leaves kind of pour out, and then the blooms, as you can see, kind of come out past the leaves, and the petals wave back and forth in the wind. And I haven't found anything that suggests that the waving in the wind attracts pollinators. In fact, the only thing that I've been able to find is people saying that the petals are a pathway for ants to crawl up. But to me it's very interesting to watch them actually blow back and forth in the breeze, and just imagine, is this doing something to attract some kind of a pollinator? Is it, do these petals that flash back and forth in the wind as they blow around, do they somehow have an attractive quality? In addition to the flowers, we've got a new root forming, and we've also got a new growth pushing out, so this plant will hopefully continue to do well for us. Let's just sit back and let Michael dance in the wind for us a little bit. That's it. Work it, Michael. Look at this. He's very proud of himself. Alright, well, let's look around the rest of my collection. Most of these plants have been outside for a few weeks, but the temperature swings means there are several yellow leaves. One plant that's been giving me some issues is this Brassia New Start. It was a big plant, so I divided it last week, only to find that it had some kind of fungal infection. There was a purple ring around the rhizome, and I've read that that's called Fusarium, so I'm treating that with fungicide. This little Falsogogotris is in bloom, and it's actually got a very light fragrance in the morning. The phals are not looking great. A lot of them have got these yellow splotching on the leaves. Some of them are spiking, and the Schilleriana seems, well, it's doing okay, but it's also got kind of an ugly patch on it. it's had it for several months. Another orchid with some ugly patches is this Bulbophyllum echinolabium or echinolabium. And after the weather started kind of getting chilly for a few nights, I started noticing the tips of some leaves turning yellow, and I actually have lost one leaf. This one I'm going to lose as well, and there are a couple more that look kind of iffy. So I'm not sure if that's fungus or what. Bulbophyllum Lovely Elizabeth bloomed for me in the fall, and it's putting out 2 new growths. I'm so happy about this. It's been one long, snaky growth for about 2 years, so I'm looking forward to multiple growths on that. Speaking of multiple growths, these are twin growths on Mormodia jumbo world. This plant was just put outside about a week ago after the temperatures had warmed up, so it's still looking pretty good. The root tips have slowed down a little bit though. Vanda falcata, the Japanese wind orchid, should be hopefully blooming in the next couple months. Brassocatanthe Little Mermaid is pushing out a new growth. Its leaves have got some weird patterning on it, and I've heard people say that it's just from the pigments in the leaves, but still it's weird. But anyway, here's the new growth popping out there, and that'll bloom in October, I guess, hopefully. Here's a coconut orchid. It has a few more yellow leaves than it had last year, but it also should be blooming soon. This oncidium had me a little bit worried because it really hasn't done anything since it finished its pseudobulb back in October. And it's got some yellowing leaves, so it was kind of freaking me out. The new growth is a good sign. We'll just have to see how it goes. In the back there you can see my Zygopetalum Bright Imagination, and this plant, it keeps losing all its leaves and then growing again, and then looks like it's going to die, and here we are again. So hopefully I'll figure out eventually what to do with this thing. This little Bulbophyllum antinifrum bloomed for us back in the winter, and I'm happy to say it's got a new spike pushing out the base of an old pseudobulb. And last but not least, our old friend the Monster Vanda has been brought over, and it has received a major haircut. I took off 5 massive growths to try to train this plant a little bit more upwards and less outwards. There's also a couple smaller Vandas out here. This is a Kulvati Fragrance, and the other one is an unnamed. I got it at a grocery store, actually. It was given to me, so I'm not sure what type this is, but it has yellow flowers with red speckles. Guys, thanks again for joining me on this update. I'm William Green, and these are my green pets. See you next time.